How's it going, West Island? Hope you're still staying safe. We're at week 3 of our West Island Blues Fest podcast. And today, as you can see, we have another mystery guest. So I'll have him reveal his own identity.
Oh my gosh, it's like Superman taking off his glasses.
Deacon George, how are you?
Yeah, Deacon George, that's right. Yeah, how you doing?
Well, we're all surviving in this pandemic, so we're doing okay.
Yeah.
And what have you been doing during this crazy historical time?
Well, apart from my regular work, which happens to be work I do at home anyway, that hasn't changed at all. I've been just trying to find ways to keep myself active musically. I have a Facebook page called Deacon George, Willing Spirit, Weak Flesh. And what I did, I just finished doing it like about a week and a half ago. I did 55 songs in 55 days, just a song every day during the pandemic. And last week when they started they said they were going to start opening up the stores a little bit. Now I figured that was the end of the crucial part of the pandemic. Plus, you know, it's 55 songs is enough, you know. But I kept it to sort of happy blues songs or bouncy blues songs and things like that. So it wasn't no depressing stuff. But yeah, so I did that. That was fun for me.
Sorry, it must be very hard to find happy songs in the blues style.
You'd be surprised. I would say more than half the blues songs I know are not sad songs. They're just songs about life. Ain't got no money, ain't got no whatever. But that's not really a sad song. There's a lot of pride in that too. You know, how you get through tough times and stuff. Plus, there's a lot of funny songs. You know, just clever, funny songs and that. And I think that's what really. I mean, I'm talking about country blues and stuff. And that's really what it's all about. I mean, there's a lot of like good-natured, happy songs that, and I certainly have enough of them. But like I said, you know, I basically cut out half my repertoire by not doing sad ones.
Sure. But 55 songs, that is quite. I think 55 songs is quite a big task.
Yeah, amazing. But an average show, like if I do a 2-hour, 2.5-hour blues show, is usually about 30 songs anyway. So that's really less than 2 shows. It just seems long.
Right. But so out of these 55s, were there all new songs you've learned, or some of them you knew, some of them?
No, this is just out of my repertoire. I mean, some of them I didn't memorize the words. I know how to play them, but I didn't memorize the words. So I'd have the words in front of me for some of the songs. But a lot of the songs are just part of my repertoire, you know. And because my repertoire is mostly, you know, upbeat. It's not downbeat. Although I love doing the really sad ones, but I try and keep it to more upbeat, more about personal pride and overcoming difficulties and stuff like that. Those are the kind of songs I like, and especially if they're done in a way that's like really clever, you know, really smart. I like that. And there's a lot of great songs in the blues repertoire. And I was talking about this subject. Like I don't. Although I've written original songs, I don't really focus on my own stuff because I want to keep the memory of these great artists alive, and I want to promote their songs. So basically, and I do themes like even during the 55 songs, I would have like Josh White week, and it was all songs that week by Josh White, all songs by Leadbelly, all songs by Memphis Minnie. You know, so it would be like a theme every week. Sometimes one time I did 4 songs in a row by Pink Floyd, but it wasn't Pink Floyd the band. It was the guys that they named the band after, Pink Anderson and Floyd. Yeah. So I did a song by, I did actually 3 songs by Pink Anderson, which are really funny songs. He used to be like he did medicine shows and street corners and stuff like that. So a lot of his songs are very clever, very funny songs. So that was well received because people were expecting to hear Pink Floyd songs.
Like I was. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, so I did that. Yeah, and you know, just to have fun with it, you know. And I did 7 days of Leadbelly songs, and the first song I did was a song that Leadbelly did during the war, the Second World War, called "We're in the Same Boat, Brother," which is very similar to the situation we're in now. And It's a great song because the chorus is, "We're in the same boat, brother. If you shake one side, you're going to rock the other." So everybody stay cool. We're in the same boat.
Do you mind do you mind doing just a bit out of it right now?
Let me see. We're in the same boat, brother. He's in the same boat, brother. 'Cause if you rock one side, you're gonna rock the other. We're in the same boat, brother. And there was a whole bunch of songs that actually fit for the times. You know, these songs, a lot of the songs are, like I said, they're about overcoming. And that's really matters in a time like this pandemic that we're in. It matters to have songs like you have that in your head, you know, like "We're in the Same Boat, Brother," or other songs like I did one which has a classic turnaround line called "Things About Coming My Way." And the whole song is all bad things that happened to him, but things about coming my way. So I think that's a great song for the times, you know. And yes, I did a lot of that kind of stuff, and I did just fun songs that were fun, just lighthearted stuff. And so I did that. Now, I mean, I put up a couple of songs every week now for on Facebook, and I mean, people have been enjoying them. The last song I put up had almost 600 views. That's pretty good, considering I'm up here in Montreal, and you know, so I'm happy about that in one day. You know, so people are enjoying the music. You know, and they're happy. Like I said, they're happy songs. They're blues songs, but I do a lot of rags. And people, although they don't, if you tell them what's a guitar rag, they don't really know what you're talking about. But as soon as you play it, they know. And it's a kind of thing that, especially when I'm doing live shows, if there's families, kids love rags. You know, they don't know what they are, but they love them. That kind of thing. People love that stuff, and so I get good responses for that. But like I said, I'm just trying to keep this music around, alive. You know, it's beautiful songs done during times of great oppression, times of want and need, and yet they had the spirit of the music alive in them. You know, so I think it's a great thing, and so that's my focus. It's always to uplift the other or lift up the guys that originated this music. You know, like Blind Willie Johnson and Reverend Gary Davis and all these guys. These are the people that I admire, and I want people to know about them. You know? For
sure. So you're able to make a tribute to them and put your own flavor to it as well.
Absolutely. It's done in my style, but it still honors, because I did a song last Sunday, which was has this riff. So that riff is not my riff. That's Reverend Gary Davis. But I added words to it. I put my own words to it. But I always, whenever I perform that song, I always say, the riff was created by Reverend Gary Davis. That's his music. I'm just taking the riff and just working with it. That's all. But I want these guys to be known. And, you know, sometimes I play songs people never even heard of the artist or never heard of the song. And then they hear it. They go, that sounds awfully familiar. Yeah, because, you know, 25 guys ripped it off. But the original guy never got a penny for it. You know?
Well, that was actually one of my remarks when I first met you. It was like, you just show up with your guitar and you start playing and you're like, wait a minute, this sounds familiar, but
I know
your flavor.
Yeah. I once did I did a radio show. I was a guest on a radio show, and we were talking about the roots of rock music and stuff like that. And I did, I said, you know, you could find, I mean, everybody knows who Jimi Hendrix is, and everybody loves his song Voodoo Child, but where does that song come from? It was his song, but it originates from Mississippi Delta, and a particular riff that was very common at that time. He just took it and made it his own, which is what music really is. There's no such thing as completely original music. All music is derived from other music. Even if you make it your own or you do whatever, you're still pulling from places. There's no such thing as completely original music, you know?
Yeah, it's inspired from somewhere else. Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
So I did that, and I did a demonstration of that. And there's lots of songs, you know, like You know, Led Zeppelin took a lot of old country blues songs and made them their own. But when people hear a song, they think, hey, that sounds really familiar. Yeah, because it was recorded back in the 1920s. But these guys who were the great, you know, the great rock guys and the great blues guys, they drew from it and made their own music. But when you listen to the original, it sounds awfully familiar, you know. So I think that's kind of fun, you know. And that's where my interests lie, usually in finding the originals. I like doing research. Research is a big deal for me. And that's why, as I was saying in the Mad Monk shows that I do, I have slides playing in the back, and I've been doing this for years. This was going to be my 18th year doing it. I would have slides in the back going all through the night, showing pictures of the artists that or artists that he played with, or places that he lived, or whatever, just for atmosphere. And then I would do the song and tell the story. Because I want people to know, not only to hear the songs, but to know the story about these guys. Some of these guys are really amazing people.
Oh, for sure.
Like a guy like Blind Willie McTell, he was obviously blind, but he could read Braille music. He also traveled all over the East Coast of United States, and alone, and he was blind. And he played vaudeville, and he played street corners, and he played juke joints. He played restaurants, you name it, parking lots, anywhere he could play, and he was blind. So that's a fascinating story about a guy who had that kind of determination, and he had a career that lasted like, I don't know, 30, 35 years. So that's very impressive. People should know about him. You know?
For sure. So on July 11th on their West Island Blues Fest, is it something like that you're going to show us, like inspire us, or
it's always something like that. Always something like that. I'll pick, you know, usually I'll pick, like the last time I did the West Island Blues Fest, I really basically just my favorite songs, but they're all, you know, they're all intertwined, and they're just, I think they're beautiful songs. They really speak from the human spirit. Because one thing about these guys that originated the country blues, some of them wanted to be famous. They knew they never would be. Most of them were just trying to get by. So music has a real honesty. There's no contrivances. There's no nothing. It's just honest music and honest words. And that's always what attracted me about country blues. Always attracted me about that. Really honest stuff. And when you do it, you feel good doing it, because you're not really saying something that goes against your own nature, type of thing, you know? So I like that. I like the simplicity, and I like it's simple, but it's not simple, you know? Because the thing about country blues is, I mean, it could be 3 chords, but there's a lot in those 3 chords, you know? Some of them are just 1 chord, you know? But there's a lot, like if you're doing R.L. Burnside. Now, 1 chord, the whole song goes like that, and you sing over it. But why did they do that? Well, because it was really dance music. People were dancing while he was singing. So he keeps the rhythm going all the time so people can dance. So, you know, those are the things you learn. Like, why did they do that? Why did they do this? I want to know. And that's what I do. I have over on the other side of my studio, I have a whole bunch of books, history of the blues and various aspects of blues music, you know. So I love doing. That's one of my favorite parts of the whole thing about playing is learning about, not only learning the songs, learning about the songs, what they mean. I even have a lexicon of blues idioms and stuff like that, just so I understand what the words mean.
Okay. You know, so then you can really get the emotion of the song. And
absolutely, it has to be real. It has to be real. You have to really feel it. I mean, like I said, I'm not in the situation these guys are in. I'm an actor. I'm interpreting what their words are, but I want to understand their words so I can. Maybe I'm a method actor. I don't know. I want to understand what they're saying. I don't just want to sing the words. I want to know why they said them.
Right.
You know, it has much more meaning that way. You know.
So for the festival, is that do you always have like a favorite song to play? Is like this is your song that represents you more? Or
what's that?
Does it like represents more you, that song? Or
yeah, they have to resonate with it. Okay. Yeah, they have to resonate. What got me into country blues was I was a teenager, and the intensity of the emotion and the loneliness, the isolation in the songs really, really drew me in, because it wasn't like the songs that I was listening to on the radio, you know, which were all really manufactured pop songs and stuff. This was, to me, was real. It was real communication, musical communication. And it stuck with me. And in fact, the last year when I did the Blues Fest, one of the songs I did was a song that gripped me when I was like 17. I'm still doing it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, because it meant a lot to me when I was a kid, you know. And the line is, I mean, think about it. You know, you're an adolescent and you obviously feel misunderstood. Nobody knows, you know. And the first line of the song is, "There's two trains running, and they never go my way."
Oh.
You know, that grips you. You know,
That
like
grips you, yeah.
exactly like that. You know, I feel like everything goes around, but never comes my way. You know, and that's really touched me. You know, so I still, like I said, I still do that song. You know, and you know, been around a while.
That's amazing. So, George, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
This is amazing. It was always a pleasure to speak to you every year. I mean, this is what, your third time with us, I believe?
No, it's going to be the second time.
Second time, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I did I think I looked more familiar because I was on the announcement on TV and all this kind of stuff. So it seems more familiar that way. But yeah, this will be my second year.
Well, because I know you did the press conferences, I believe, twice.
The press conferences and the fundraiser and all that. So I seem more familiar than I am.
I've seen you around, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right,
anyway,
George.
thank you very much. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we'll see you soon. We'll see you July 11th, and can't wait to hear your songs.
Oh, great. Absolutely. Take care, man.
Take care.
Next time.
So yeah, that was it. We'll edit it a bit here and there.
Great.
And we like to do about 10 minutes or so.
Perfect. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, it was great that you were able to play the guitar. I mean, it adds more.
Oh, I could do more if you want. You know, like it's not a problem. I have a guitar. See, that's the beauty of working at home. I've got my music studios right next to this studio.
Nice.
I've always got a guitar handy. Anything comes to me or whatever, you know, guitar's right there.
Yeah, I wish I was able to do the same, but I moved out, and so now it's the spare bedroom of my roommate that we're creating as a studio. So.
Uh-oh. Yeah, well.
I'm missing my toys, let's say. You know?
Yeah, I know, it's tough. I like being around my stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's what's keeping you sane, because if not, would it be harder for you?
What, if I didn't have my stuff?
Yeah.
Well, you know, the thing is, I'm an artist and a musician. So if I don't do music, I do drawing.
Okay.
If I didn't have the drawing, then I'd go crazy. If I didn't have the music or the drawing, I'd go crazy. But I have, I make my living as an illustrator. So I do a lot of drawing and artwork. I do everything's on computer now. I'm actually talking to you from my drawing tablet. So
okay.
I can actually draw on you right now. But
yeah, well, you said you can do a mustache, but I already sort of have a
yeah. While you're talking, I can draw.
I got glasses.
But then only I could see it. But yeah, and I also have like old school sketchbooks all over the place. Plus, I do a lot of watercolor painting. I've actually taught watercolor at Vanier and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, visual arts are my thing. But the music that's why I can focus on only one thing in music and not have to worry about trying to learn to do, you know, salsa and this and that. I just play country blues. That's it, you know. So that's my passion.
That's cool, because I work with other friends that we created another podcast, and it's all about arts and music and graphics and so forth. So
oh cool.
I would love to drop your name to him and see if he would love to
my pleasure
do something with you.
If you want to see what I do professionally, you can go on Amazon,
okay,
and just type in my name, George Tufexis.
Okay,
just type in my name and all my books will come up.
Oh, awesome. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And there's one of the questions I forgot to ask you. Why is your performer named Deacon George?
That's a story that goes back about 20 years. I was playing at I was visiting a place. I don't think it exists anymore. A place called Au Diable in Longueuil, and John McGale was up there doing a show, and he saw me in the audience, and he said, "Oh, you know what?" It came down. He said, "You know, I'm going to call you up. You do a few songs." I said, all right, I can play with bands too. I mean, I play the same thing. I play country blues, but it sounds good with a band also. But anyway, so he said, I'm going to call you up. So he calls me up. He couldn't pronounce my name. So I thought, you know what, I got to fix that. And, you know, guys all over, like, you know, I won't say their names because I don't know if that will embarrass them or not, but there's quite a few guys who are Greek like me, right, who have simplified their names because people can't pronounce their names.
Oh,
there's
for sure.
Guys playing in the city now who have real Greek names who you wouldn't know they were Greek from their name. So I took the name Deacon George. My brother suggested it because at the time I was a deacon in a church. So a lot of times they would say, oh, just go ask Deacon George. Right. So I thought, yeah, why not make that my name? It's much easier to remember, you know, and easier to pronounce, especially.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when I first called you, it's like, can I speak to Deacon George? And then your wife goes, George. I'm like, okay, I thought Deacon was your first name and last name was George.
I know. A lot of people call me Deacon. I don't tell them not to.
Okay.
You know, they'll say, hey, Deacon. No problem, you know.
So that's why. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. There's quite a few guys here in the city that simplified their names like that. You know.
Well, so, our co-founder from the West Island Blues Fest, the mayor of Pierrefonds, is Dimitrios Jim. We all call him Jim and not Dimitrios.
That's right. And I'm sure Bay is not his. I'm sure his last name is not the full last name. I'm sure it's much more complicated.
Yeah, because normally they're this long.
Yeah. Theotokopoulos, you know, for your average person, it's tough to pronounce those names, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why it sounds more bluesy too, you know.
Sure.
Deacon George, yeah. Plus, I do a lot of spirituals and gospel songs.
Okay.
That's all. When you're doing country blues, they're all wrapped up together. Spirituals, gospel songs. So, you know, if I'm playing in a church and I play all gospel songs, they're all like the same guys, like Blind Willie McTell and Mississippi John Hurt. All these guys played gospel songs and blues songs. They did both because they were probably in their region. They were probably one of the few musicians that could do like real quality playing. So they would have them playing Saturday night dances, and then Sunday morning they'd be playing in church. You know, so they all knew those songs. So that's where I learned them from. I didn't learn them from going to some association or something that does gospel music. I learned it from listening to the blues guys. Yeah. So go figure, eh? Yeah. Anyway, so that's my story.
That's our story. Well, thank you for sharing your story. Sorry?
I know it's very exciting, but
it is. Well, yeah, I know. I don't get to talk to an artist much more. Like, you know, I'm a technician first, not a host, not a reporter. It's just to, as I said, promote our cause and promote musicians, and especially in this time of year.
I told Errol when Errol called me a while back, and I said, look, anything you need to help you out, and if I can do my part, I'll be more than happy to. Not a problem.
Yeah, it's with open arms that we're taking this, so we're very happy.
I'm glad. Anyway.
Okay.
All right, man.
So probably next week or the week after. No, actually next week, next Thursday, this will be posted out.
Oh, great.
West Island Blues Fest YouTube channel.
Perfect. I'll put it up on my website and on my Facebook page. So
perfect.
Get people to look at it.
That's the whole reason why we're doing these videos, is just to promote and get better exposure. And
yeah, absolutely. You need to now these days. Absolutely. Yeah. There's no real other venue, you know.
Yeah. So we're creating our in-home venue right now.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
All right. Stay safe and enjoy the weather.
Yeah. Take care.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Find out more stuff, so you need to subscribe. Actually, subscribe over here, and we'll have more announcements. So we'll have actually 2 announcements next week. So hit the subscribe, and there's more videos. So check out the videos. Check out the videos.